Hey YouTubers, bit shooters, Facebookers, dwindling in numbers YouTubers and Facebookers, hopefully bit shooters and MeWeers, and DTubers and librariers, and Parlor users. Our Anarcho Highlander here, bringing an update. Just on my way from work to the rink. Got hockey practice tonight with my kids. Be coaching with them. I coach both my kids' teams. One's a mite and one is a squirt. I'll be coaching with the squirts tonight. And it's November now. It's getting kind of cold out, and we have to deal with all of the ridiculous restrictions that we have here in New Jersey due to King Murphy. The kids, they got to get ready, get geared up outside. Also to the coaches too, and take your temperature when you come into the facility. And the kids don't have to wear masks as long as they have their helmets on. I guess the helmet cage on the front of the face mask on front of the cage, the helmet grid, the wire grid is enough to stop the coronavirus. That thing's actually pretty big. You'd probably be able to see it if it couldn't fit through there. But anyway, these are some of the ridiculous things that we're doing these days. The coaches, though, they got to wear masks because we don't usually wear shields or cages over our face with our helmets. So we have to put masks over our mouths and nose. Most of the time, mine is just below my lower lip, so I can breathe freely. So I can comply, but don't really comply. Just kind of comply on my own terms. But yeah, that's how we're living these days over at the ice rink when we go to play hockey or practice hockey. It's kind of ridiculous. But I just, no parents are allowed in the rink for practice. So it's the only way that I could actually be in the facility while my kids are practicing is to be a coach. I'm an assistant coach. I've been coaching for probably about 4 or 5 years now as an assistant coach. I could never be a full-time coach because they have a lot of games on Sundays, and well, that's our day of worship, so we don't play hockey on Sundays. So I've been an assistant coach, I guess it's been about 4 or 5 years now, and I'll never be a head coach because of that Sunday exception that I make for myself, my household. But we have to wear face masks. We have to put a muzzle over our face, so we're doing physical activity. And it's just wonderful because if you actually have the thing over your mouth and your nose, I mean, you're breathing in that cold ice rink air, and it's condensating on your cloth mask. And I mean, by the time you get done, this thing's like sopping wet. But anyway, I just kind of shirk it off. I wear like a diaper around my chin, like my diaper is my chin is butt cheeks. Put that little diaper over my chin butt, and breathe freely and not come out with a sopping wet cloth over my face. But it's just ridiculous what we're doing. And they've got all of the they have this thing called Live Barn. They have cameras in the rink, so when games are being played, you can watch from home on a PC or on your mobile device or whatever. But Live Barn is turned off because there's all kinds of people that can log into Live Barn, and if the wrong person sees the wrong thing, oh man, forbid somebody, some kid gets close to another kid and checks them, they're not social distancing, and then the rink gets closed up. So when games happen, they allow one parent in to stream the game with their phone, and the rest of the parents are out tailgating in the parking lot watching it on a PC or a mobile device, all huddled around in the car. But the weather's getting colder, and that's going to become more challenging, especially the kids. They're down practically to nothing before they put their they've got their Under Armour on that they're wearing under their hockey equipment, but that's not really much protection. So they're getting out, they're stripping down to their Under Armour, and then they're putting all of their gear on top of that. But in the meantime, they're freezing cold outside. My 7-year-old was crying on Saturday when we had a game because, it's so cold, Daddy. I mean, I had to kind of tell him to, buck up, little camper, and, just, put your big boy pants on and let's get through this. But, it's ridiculous that this is what we got to go through, us slaves, us peasants. I'm sure Murphy's kids don't go through that kind of stuff, or he wouldn't allow them to anyway if they were. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm on my way to right now. Joy! I'm just happy that I can be in the facility with my kids so they can play hockey, because if I couldn't be in that facility, if I had to leave them in there, they probably wouldn't be playing hockey this season. But since I'm able to be in the facility with them, we will make an exception. I will suffer through whatever the restrictions are so that they can continue to play a sport that I think they love and they learn a lot from, and we can continue that experience. Just also got done with probably about a 45-minute discussion with my office manager. She's a Trumper. It was an interesting conversation. She, just like most Trumpers, believes that, Trump is going to swoop in and save the day, as we've been hearing for a long time now from some alternative news outlets, some of which don't exist on YouTube anymore, like X22 Report or, any of these QAnon channels that are proponents of the whole QAnon narrative that Trump's going to put on his cape and save the day. Really, they've been talking about all of these arrests that are going to happen and how everything's going to change, and I haven't seen too much of what they're saying coming true yet. Maybe it'll happen in his second term. I really do think Trump's going to win. It is election day, and I think that he's been selected. And I was discussing this with her, and she was saying, "Oh, well, what about the polls? All the news outlets are saying that Biden's going to win. He's winning in the polls and this." And, one thing I noticed is, I don't know, have you ever been called up and asked, how you felt about who was going to win the election or who you were voting for or whatever? I know I haven't. I wouldn't be factoring in anyway, because I didn't vote anyway, and that's what I would tell them, is I'm not voting. But I don't know too many people who have been polled, so I don't know where they get these numbers from, but it would make total sense for them to jack up Biden's numbers and select Trump as the president, because then it would be a total upset, and it would get all of the Biden supporters riled up, and most of them most of the groups that are socialist, communist, fascist, like Biden is and what he stands for, total totalitarianism. They're going to go a little wacko, but they're controlled. They're controlled opposition anyway. I think that the establishment would prefer to have a controlled chaos that's under their direction, the chaos that they decide happens, than to have all of these gun-toting Trumpers get upset and start the next civil war because Trump didn't win, and they would probably think that it's fixed, and it is fixed, but it's fixed in the favor of the establishment. And my Trumper friend, my office manager that I work with, she just does not see that. She has some hope. She says, I'm not crazy about Trump and everything, but he has delivered on some of the things he said he's going to do. And then I brought up to her the red flag laws and, who he appointed to the ATF. And, I also brought up to her the whole thing that Trump keeps talking about, deploying the military to assist in administering the vaccines. And she said, he's saying that the vaccine won't be mandatory. Well, then why do we need the military to deploy the administration of the vaccines? Sounds a little fishy to me. This is the way I look at it. I mean, I think that Trump has been selected, and all the Trumpers are going to go back to sleep, which is really what the establishment wants. They want the Trumpers to go back to sleep. And when Trump is elected or selected for his second term, that will happen, and there'll be a lot less. It will ease a lot less of the pressure, at least from those who are not so controlled, like the Biden team is controlled. I mean, all those who are supporting Biden, major groups are co-opted by, Soros and other special interest groups and things like this, and they can control the narrative as to how the chaos plays out. And I think that the establishment would prefer that, whereas, Trumpers, if they get out of control, bullets are probably going to start flying, heads are going to get flown, and it's going to be a big bloody mess. So I really do believe that Trump is going to win, or he'll be declared the winner because he's been selected. And we'll see if I'm wrong. It'll take another probably week or so to figure it out, and then there's going to be a whole drama over that. Of course, we're going to be fighting over that. I don't think that it's going to be like this big, apocalyptic happening, just as a lot of libertarians and anarchists think that the world's going to fall apart in the next couple of days, at least, or the country's going to fall apart in the next couple of days. I don't think that's the case. I think it's going to be a slow, long death, and I think that Trump coming in, into office for a second term will continue that slow, long death that we've been witnessing over the past 2 decades. I mean, we'll just continue the controlled demolition of the United States of America. I do think it is important to be ready for anything, because we don't know what's going to happen on any given day. Nobody knows what a day will bring forth, and I've made some preps because you never know what's going to happen. But I really think that Trump is selected. He's going to win, and all the Trumpers are going to go back to sleep. Those who are in the red states are going to have it real easy concerning all the COVID restrictions, and those of us in the blue states like me and other people that live in New Jersey are going to be miserable. And that's why I'm looking at moving into a red state, because life for the anarchy slanted libertarian is going to be a lot easier than it will be in a blue state. Just continuing to try to promote MeWe to my Facebook connections, trying to establish my connection base again on Facebook, and just try to redirect them to MeWe and get rid of all of try to mess up everything that Facebook's trying to do. They're trying to retain their client base, and I read an article that was great today by Rolling Stone. I published it on my Facebook page and my MeWe page, and if you're connected with me, I would highly recommend reading that. It's a long read, but it kind of talks about the history of Facebook and how their surveillance and their securities and their restrictions have evolved. And I think it's really come to a head where a lot of people are getting heavily restricted or flat out whacked from Facebook. Their accounts are getting disabled, they're going into Facebook jail, they can't post certain things, and So I just, I see this stuff on my news feed, and I just direct them to MeWe. So hoping that a lot of people come over to MeWe and be done with Facebook. I want to see Facebook lose their client base because of what they've been doing to their customers, and they've been doing it for a long time. And it's time to make an exodus and let Zuckerberg go broke. Vote with our usership. Vote with our dollars. I mean, a MeWe membership is free. If you want to get some special bells and whistles, it's like $4.99 a month, I think. That's so you can go into dark mode and not have a white screen on your page, and you get some other options, like you get 1,000 gigabytes of cloud storage. I mean, it's a pretty good deal for $5, I think, and you don't have to deal with any of the ads, any of the surveillance, any of that stuff. I mean, there's been plenty of time talking to my wife about something, some product that we're thinking about getting or whatever, and then all of a sudden, we're seeing it in our news feed. We're seeing these advertisements for that very thing we were talking about. We never did any search on Google or anything. Now all of a sudden, what we were talking about now pops up on Facebook. It's amazing how your devices are listening to you and giving feedback to the FBI book. So yeah, I'm interested to see how things unfold. I know that certain figures out there, that big names, are talking about, oh yeah, we're going to be partying, watching on the big screen as America burns and falls apart over the next couple of days. I think they're probably going to have a longer party than one night or even a couple of days, because this is a slow, long death, controlled demolition, and we're in this for the long haul. It's going to get worse before it gets better, but it's going to get worse slower. They don't want to tip the hand too quickly, and they don't want chaos. They want chaos, but they want chaos that they have control over, so they can control the narrative and they can control how things get broken down and rebuilt. And I think that's what we're going to see. So all you Trumpers out there, you should be happy with my prediction. You're going to get what you want. You're going to get Trump. I don't know if you're going to get the Trump that you're projecting onto Trump, but you're going to get Trump for another 4 years, and I don't know if it's going to be what you expect it to be, but he's going to have a mandate to do whatever he wants. And if you're for medical freedom, I think, I think you're going to have some challenges, with the vaccinations, and being able to work and travel, with the Real ID coming out, and talks of, the vaccination, the digital vaccination certificate, which would restrict your travel and your ability to work. I think you're going to see Second Amendment issues. We know this guy that Trump has appointed to the ATF. He's not friendly to the Second Amendment like we would like him to be. We lost the bump stocks. We got the red flag laws, and this comes from this comes from Trump's administration ultimately. So, and we've got 4 more years for things to get worse in that area too. So, would it be accelerated with Biden? Yeah, but it would also cause total out of control chaos for the interest. They'd have to deal with all these, gun-toting yahoos who aren't part of the establishment. And I think that they're going to use Trump as a tool to just accomplish their agenda in that long, slow death, that slow demolition that we're going to witness of America over the next decade or so. I don't think it's going to fold tomorrow. I really don't. But maybe I'm wrong. I am somewhat prepared if it is. I'm not as prepared as I'd like to be. Maybe I'm just hoping for the sake of hope, or predicting for the sake of hope that I have more time to prepare before everything falls apart. But because I do have some other pieces of the puzzle that I got to get together before things really collapse. It wouldn't be very convenient for me right now, but maybe that's why I'm coming to the conclusion I am coming to. Maybe I'm just being optimistic. But I don't think America is going to be burning tomorrow morning, by any means. So that's all for today. I'm just, rounding about 5 minutes away from the ice rink right now, and I gotta, you know, decompress a little bit otherwise in my own head, and get ready for hockey practice. So if you like what you hear, hit the like button, subscribe, you know, share the video with people, and hopefully we all learn something here. Hope you're having a great day and you have a good night with your family. Take care now.